Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Miss J. Before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I drop a video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And so yeah, let's get into it. So I've worked various roles in education, and I always get asked which roles I like first. So let's get into some questions about each role I've worked. So I've worked as a sub, paraprofessional, classroom teacher, and school counselor. My most recent role was a classroom teacher, and my most recent role I was working kindergarten, but I've worked third for 2 years and second the beginning of this school year, and then kindergarten most recently. School counselor, I was elementary counselor, and we had two, but I did I did third, fourth, and fifth, and the other counselor did K through second, and then we split pre-K. As a para, I did elementary, and I was instructional support para, and I was with third grade. I worked with third, I worked with first, and I liked it. And then as a sub, I mostly subbed in elementary school, but I did sub in middle school and high school, but I only did middle school and high school if the teacher had already left stuff in Canvas for them to do. And in middle school, I mostly did electives, and I subbed 2 different times in my life at 2 different points. So, which role did I enjoy the most overall? School counseling. Loved it because that is my passion, and it works very directly with my educational philosophy. It fit best for the type of personality I have, the type of person that I am. It just meshed, and it works very well with my mental health. It definitely works the best. That's why that role stood out, was because it just paired perfectly with my lifestyle. You're able to form long-lasting relationships with your students, because when you're a school counselor at school, especially elementary school, you're with those kids until they leave. So you definitely get to form close relationships with them, and they get comfortable with you. They start coming to you for any and everything. Sometimes they just need somebody to listen to their accomplishments that they did. So it was perfect. The pace, it was very medium, very even pace. Yes, you do have some crises that come up, but it was nothing too crazy. Like everything, it was just a nice little pace. It was not predictable. The daily rhythm was the same. You check in with your classes. You make yourself visible. Let them know, hey, I'm here today. If you need me, did my check-ins with certain students. Would go in the classroom just to observe, make sure my students was good. Like, it was chef's kiss. What I liked about subbing was that it worked well for flexibility and variety. So like as a sub, you are a substitute for grades pre-K through 12th. So you can sub any grade band. You can sub any class. So you could be subbing math, science, social studies, history, band, chorus, PE, sped. You could be doing it all. So it was flexible and variety. So if you're trying to get into education, subbing is the way to go. Paraprofessional, you get to work with the kids closer than you do as a teacher. So you really get to work most of the time with a particular small group of kids that the teacher is assigning to you, and you get to work with them closely and every day. So you get to work with them a lot. They get more support. teaching and counseling, teaching, you had to form relationships to even get the kids to pay attention to you. But you had to be strong classroom management. And counseling, same way. You work closely with the kids, but it's very relationship based. So you got to form the relationship. So teaching and counseling, you need relationships before anything. So you had to form those relationships first, and you're working with them in deep, meaningful relationships. So only difference is with teaching is very curriculum based. With school counseling is social emotional based. So yeah, those are, you know, the things that I appreciate about each role. The role that challenged me the most, teaching, because like I said, it's curriculum based. Yes, you got to form that relationship, but once you form that relationship, then you got to teach the content, you got to teach the curriculum. So if you might have been strong teaching one content area, but if you weren't strong teaching the other one, or the kids weren't getting it, and you sitting there like, why are they not getting it? If you didn't apply them relationships, you weren't going to reach that child. You had to apply that relationship to reach the child, to get them to even want to do the work. And that was challenging, because sometimes you might find out that child's interest and you're trying to help them, and it's like, okay. Also, with that role, parents, you're in constant communication with parents, and I feel like elementary school is constant communication. You can communicate in middle and high school, but in elementary school, you are definitely parental communication. And also, like I said, you got to form the relationship with the kids. You got to form the relationship with the parents. So sometimes that can be a challenge. So yes, that was my most challenging role. The role I would choose again in this season of life, right now, substitute for the season that I'm in right now in this moment. But I would definitely want to do school counseling. But right now, sub. Who would thrive in each role? As a sub, someone who is flexible and likes variety. Paraprofessional, someone who likes working in small group settings. For a teacher, someone who can form those strong, deep relationships and is strong in content in the curriculum. So not just going through the motions, but very strong and creative, and knows how to integrate students' interests with the curriculum. School counseling, someone who is, like I said, can form those strong relationships and can maintain them, but is very empathetic, compassionate, loving, caring, nurturing. That's who would thrive in each role. So that's all we have for the video. So I want to know in the comments below, what role are you in? I want to hear if you're a sub, if you're a teacher, if you're a school counselor or a para, admin as well, even academic coach, whatever role you're in education, drop it in the comments below and let's discuss. So until next time, peace.